Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at the Riddler from Mattel's Batman Classic TV series, which, when I first heard I was pretty excited about, even though you wouldn't think these characters would necessarily translate well to figure form. At any rate, the packaging for this is spectacular. It's just such an incredible homage to the old show and everything. I have Penguin out here just to show you the fact that, the different things that Robin says. So each package isn't even necessarily the same thing there. In this case, it's Holy Smokes skywriting and Holy Nick of Time. Just sort of campy, enjoyable things. We also have this Bam Pow, the little action sound effects that popped up on the show. And who can forget Wham? No Biff, though. No Biff. Biff, of course, being my favorite. The back of the package has this really awesome sort of styled artwork. Granted, I don't think this necessarily correlates to the TV show because, although I wasn't alive back then, so I'm not sure if they did use this sort of art for it, but it's got a sort of cool retro feel, so definitely go along with, say, the 60s or 70s, roughly the time period this came out. There's a little bit of a read up on the back here, using bat language. The Riddler, you fiend, the confounding clever criminal known as the Riddler, is Batman and Robin's trickiest villain. Sending enigmatic clues to the dynamic duo, the Riddler subsequently leads them into an inevitable trap. But never fear, the Batman always outwits the mysterious madman. And by the way, I completely forgot how to read tonight. On the bottom here we see some of the other selections for the wave. Interestingly enough, Robin's not listed there, although I know he's in a 2-pack with Batman, so maybe that's the only configuration right now. Joker and Catwoman come out a bit later. I think Surf's Up Batman's also due out a bit later, but hold on a second and I'll get him out of pack. Alright, so I was a little disappointed trying to get him out of box because in the process, you kind of have to damage this absolutely awesome packaging. I wanted to just take him out and then pop him back in. Sort of display him in box at times, but that's sort of not a possibility unless, I don't know. But while I was doing that, I noticed that this thing was actually a separate panel. And behind it was a stand with kapow, another awesome sound effect, as well as some images of the Riddler. Or actually just one image. It's kind of a nice one though. In the back, I guess you can sort of assemble it for a connect and connect image. I know what to call that. Sort of a cool extra. Obviously not much collectible value to that. But beyond that, first thing you'll notice is that the size in the sky is kind of odd. It's not the size of the DC Universe Classics line. You'll notice this is quite a bit smaller. But it's not quite the size of the Movie Masters line either, since he looks almost a little bit tall. Although maybe it's kind of there. But interestingly enough, he almost seems to scale with 6-inch, so maybe he is kind of in the 6-inch scale, so we might actually have a real 6-inch line from Mattel at this point. I don't know, I'll have to look at some of the other figures and compare, but kind of a neat observation. Now, the joints in this guy are sort of crazy loose. I'm not sure if it's my copy or it's just a sort of design thing. I did get mine off Amazon. I pre-ordered him. Accidentally pre-ordered Joker instead somehow, but I went back and once I realized the mistake, like a week before he was shipping, I tossed him in there as well. Originally I was just going to skip the Joker and just get Penguin and Riddler. And of course, Riddler is the one I'm possibly most impressed with. Very nice design. The head sculpt here is pretty cool. It does have a fair likeness to the actor whose name eludes me right now. It's one of those ones I think I should remember, but I kind of don't. And the other sort of neat thing is all the... Yeah, he's taller than Bane, so that's definitely not in scale with Movie Masters. Which, is sort of a really neat touch. It's all original, never before seen tooling and all that. You'll notice that The costume for the TV show is sort of radically different compared to a lot of the other interpretations. I could have recalled that, it had a lot more question marks on it, but, probably when I go back and actually watch the show, it'll be exactly like this, and I'll just have misremembered it. Love the little question mark logo there. In general, the design seems to work more for him than some of the other guys in the line. You'll notice that there seems to be a bit of shadowing in places, sort of a darker black sort of painted over the green portions, or maybe a deeper green, which is kind of an odd effect. But otherwise, he does seem to have sort of the standard articulation for these lines, or at least as we've come to associate with them. So, not everything's entirely different here, but he has a point of rotation at the wrist, single pin here at the elbow, rotation at the bicep, ball jointed shoulder. Head has rotation, also a little bit of up and down, but a very tiny amount. Of course, we almost never get real up and down with these figures, at least not from Mattel. We have an ab crunch with not a lot of motion, and also it kind of distorts his question mark there. Rotation at waist, we have the T-jointed hips, rotation above the knee, single pin here at the knee, and then the ankle has a pin joint. It almost feels like there's ankle pivot, but I think it's just really loose plastic. All in all, pretty neat looking figure. He does come with a stand to help him, maintain his balance there. Although he does sort of stand on his own as well, fairly well. It's just that with the weakness of the joints, I don't know if he'll always be able to consistently do it, so I will probably leave him on a stand at least part of the time. And of course, you'll notice that the stand has a thing for the image here, so let's pop that in. I don't know. I don't think I like how that displays. Of course, you're supposed to have it centered more, but even then, the fact that he's covering up our character's face, it's not very cool. But yeah, overall, I am pretty impressed with this one. I hope I like the Penguin as much. I think I'll probably just leave the Joker on pre-order, because I kind of do want him. It's just like when I saw some of the original sculpts and stuff, it looked like he had his fingers sticking out, which is kind of weird. If it's just like normal fists or open hands, I'm completely fine with that. But yeah, this has been a look at the Riddler from Mattel's Batman Classic TV series. Pretty nice figure, only real issue is the weakness in the joints, which I'm noticing is more and more of a problem. Although, it might just be mine. Until next time, folks.